I will be back with a full show next week. This week, however, I wish to explain what I've done to change the way I compile the Unofficial British Artists Top 20. Hello, welcome to the show. I'm not going to do a full episode this week, but I will be back next week with the normal album reviews and news. But first I want to explain something that I've done in the run-up to the new series starting next week. I've changed the way I calculate the chart very, very slightly. So one of my problems with it was it's only a top 20, and yet in several cases we had 3 songs by the same artist. And the reason for that is I'm just effectively taking the official chart and stripping out anything that hasn't got a British artist in one of the named artists. So I've made a decision that whilst the official chart caps it at 3 in their top 100, I've only got a top 20, so I'm going to cap it at 2. Now, I did consider maybe increasing it to a top 25 or a top 30 to increase the variety a little bit, but I kind of thought, well, I don't need the same. I don't need loads of tracks by the same artist sort of clogging it up. So the rule I've decided to come up with is there will only be 2 tracks by each named artist, and that includes collaborations. So, for example, the number 1 track, or the track that's been number 1 up until this point, I haven't revealed what the number 1 is yet this week, although I think we all know. The Sam Fender and Olivia Dean track counts as 1 for Sam Fender and 1 for Olivia Dean. So, as a result of this, and I'll talk about it at the end, a few tracks have been pushed out of the chart that would have been there if I hadn't changed the rule. Obviously, this will be ongoing, so it's only this week that feels really unfair because I've got 3 tracks that have left the chart because I've changed the rules, and as a result I've got 3 tracks that have come into the chart because I've changed the rules. Unfortunately, sod's law, 2 of them are ones that are dropped out. I kind of knew that would happen, but there is at least 1 song in this new chart that is here because of the rules that I've changed. There is a song in here that wouldn't have been in here if I hadn't changed these rules. So let's do the chart this week. On the chart, which is dated the 27th of July 2026, we have 2 new entries, 3 re-entries, 7 songs going up, 5 songs going down, and 3 non-movers. At number 20, we have a re-entry for Fleetwood Mac with Dreams. At number 19, we have a re-entry for H with Ring My Bell. At number 18, we have a new entry for MK featuring Poppy Bascom with Zone. At number 17, it's down 5 places for the Beatles with Hey Jude. And at number 16, we have a new entry for Josh Baker and Poppy Bascom with My Place. We have a non-mover at number 15 for Bonnie Tyler with Total Eclipse of the Heart. And we have a re-entry at number 14 for Dave and Thames with Rain Dance. At number 13, it's Calvin Harris and Jazzy going up 4 places with Satisfy. And at number 12, it's up 6 places for Natasha Bedingfield with Unwritten. Ray is also up 6 places with Where Is My Husband at number 11. Here's your top 10. At number 10, we have Calvin Harris and Douglas with Blessings, which is down 4 places. At number 9, it's Harry Styles' Sign of the Times, up 4 places. Sienna Sparrow drops 2 places to number 8 with Die on This Hill. And Silver Bumper drops 1 place to number 7 with On Tonight. It's up 1 place with Material Lover for Sienna Sparrow to number 6, and we have a non-mover for Harry Styles with American Girls at number 5. Olivia Dean is up 2 places to number 4 with Man I Need. Oasis are down 1 place with Wonderwall to number 3. It's up 2 for Prosper and Clooney with Free Your Mind to number 2, and this week's number 1 is Sam Fender and Olivia Dean with Rein Me In, a non-mover. Again, because I've just been giving you a countdown because I've had a few weeks off, I haven't done this for a while, but I'm going to kind of talk through and sort of natter about the chart before I go. So the first thing worth mentioning is the songs that have come back because of the rule changes are H's Ring My Bell, Fleetwood Mac's Dreams. They're both at 19 and 20. The song that wouldn't be in the chart if I hadn't changed the rule is MK featuring Poppy Bascom with Zone. And then everything else, 17 upwards, would have been there. The ones that were knocked out by the rule change, which is basically any artist that had 3 songs in the chart, are as follows. So because of the rule change, we lost Great Expectations by Sienna Spyro, which is the song that's charted from her newly released album. It'd only been in the chart 1 week. Then there's Olivia Dean's So Easy to Fall in Love. I feel bad about that one because that's been in the chart for 25 weeks since it started. But it was the third placed song this week of Olivia Dean's, and so it had to go. And then also Harry Styles' Aperture. Now, Harry Styles hadn't had 3 songs in the chart for a bit. In fact, he was back down to, I think he was back down to just the 1 or 2. Then, of course, his concert, his Wembley concerts got him back in the public eye, and he had 3 songs in. But unfortunately, this new rule has knocked out that. Then the other songs that have naturally fallen out that wouldn't have been here even if I hadn't changed the rules were Baddiel Skinner and the Lightning Seeds with 3 lines, It's Coming Home, and Fat Les Vindaloo. Those last 2 songs, of course, are football related. Obviously, the World Cup is over and we were knocked out of it anyway. So those songs went. But there's a couple of songs still in the chart that are World Cup related that I kind of expected to drop out and haven't. So one of the reasons I actually did the rule change this week was because I was hoping for a really fresh chart, because on top of 3 lines and Vindaloo coming out, it did cross my mind that Wonderwall by Oasis, which again charted because it's being sung on the terraces, and indeed the Beatles song Hey Jude, those are there because of the football. So I kind of assumed that they would drop out this week, but they haven't, and that's probably because they're good songs and they're not immediately about the football, so you can still listen to them. It's not like listening to Wonderful Christmas Time after the 1st of January, for example. As for the rest of the chart, then obviously there's a couple of things here, like Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart. I kind of expected that one to go as well. Obviously, she died a couple of weeks ago, and the song re-entered the public consciousness because people have been listening to it because of the unfortunate thing that happened. But I did wonder if that would be in there for just 1 week, but it seems to have hung on and in the same place as well. So it didn't chart highly, but it has been at number 15 for 2 weeks. As for the rest of it, the rest of it's still fairly dull. It seems to be the same songs doing the same things. I really can't wait for something new to break that top 5. It's been a while since that really happened. All the songs in there, you look at the top 5 now, the only song that's been in it for less than 14 weeks, in the chart for less than 14 weeks, is Wonderwall by Oasis, and that's only because I haven't tracked my charts since Wonderwall was originally in the chart. If I had done, it would have been listed as a re-entry the first time it turned up, but of course it didn't. Sienna Spiro is still doing very well with Die on This Hill, and there was another song of hers in there, Material Lover. They're both doing really, really well, so that's nice to see. So I've told you what songs have left the charts. Let's do a bit about chart penetration. So the official top 10 has 3 British tracks in it. The top 20 has 8 British tracks in it, and the top 40 has 11. That's not very good. That's 27.5%. I'm not tracking. Well, it is down on last week. It's down sort of 3 songs on last week. I wasn't necessarily going to say that because I didn't give you the stats last week. But that's really bad when you consider. It's not the worst we've had. I think it's gone down as low as 9 since I've been tracking this, but conversely it's been as high as 21. In the past 50% of the chart was British acts, and at the moment it's only slightly above a quarter, which is quite bad. We've had 30 weeks of official number 1 singles. 23 of those weeks have been held by a British artist. Admittedly, 18 of them has been Sam Fender and Olivia Dean with Rain Me In. And then there have been 7 out of the 30 that have been held by American artists. Most recently, Taylor Swift with I Knew It, I Knew You. But we shall see. Right, that's it for me for this week. I'll be back with a full show next week. The first episode of season 2, which is going to sound suspiciously like season 1, only me sounding slightly less knackered. So you'll get the news as usual. You'll get an album review. I haven't decided which album yet. There's probably one that's released that week. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back next week. Bye-bye.